So, hello student, today we are going to start a new lesson, that is plant growth and development. In this lesson, we have to study only about plant growth regulators, and these are auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, ethylene, and abscisic acid. About these hormones we have to study. These are in our the syllabus from this lesson. So we have to study about plant growth regulators. Plant growth regulators, and these are included in these categories. So we have to study about the plant growth regulator. So plant growth regulators. These are generally described as plant growth substances, as plant growth substances plant hormones or phytohormones phytohormones. These are described by different names as the plant growth substances. Plant hormones are the plant growth hormones, and the phytohormones. Various names are there. So these are the plant growth regulators, are the phytohormones, are broadly divided into two categories on the basis of their functions. So on the basis of on the basis of on the basis of their functions, they are categorized into two categories on the basis of their functions. Plant hormones or phytohormones are divided into two categories. Number one is plant growth promoters, and number two, plant growth inhibitors. Number one is plant growth promoters. Number one is means A, plant growth promoters. These substances promotes the plant growth like cell division, cell differentiation, flowering, fruiting, etc. etc. And it is of, in this category, three hormones are kept. Number one, auxins. Number two, gibberellins. And number third is cytokine. Cytokinins. Three hormones are kept in this category. One is plant growth promoter. These hormones promotes plant growth. And next one is B, plant growth inhibitors. And this two hormones are there. Number one is ethylene. And next one is abscisic acid. Abscisic acid. These are included in the two categories. We can write here. So 1 and 2. Two categories, ethylene and abscisic acid. Or we can write another type of the ethylene and abscisic acid. These are categorized as the plant growth inhibitors. So two plant, this is 1 and this is 2. These are the plant growth inhibitors. These inhibits the different activity of the plant, as the closure of stomata and other things. So we will discuss in detail about these hormones. So plant growth inhibitor, plant growth regulators are these are the phytohormones or plant growth substances. So on the basis of their functions, these plant growth regulators or phytohormones be categorized into two categories. One is auxins, gibberellins, cytokines. These are included into the plant growth promoters, and while others, ethylene and the abscisic acid, these are included into the plant growth inhibitors. Actually, plant growth inhibitors also plays an important role. They are also very much important as the plant growth promoters. So we discuss in detail about these different type of the hormones in detail one by one. First, we have to discuss about the auxins. About auxins. First, we have to discuss about the auxins. We have to these things. So argents. This about this argents. We have to discuss some history before studying about the argents. Where argents are formed, where these are located, and what is their functions. We discussed before studying about the properties of argents and the where they are produced. We discuss about the little histories there. One Charles Darwin and its son means Charles Darwin. Very popular name is there. Charles Darwin. He was studying the effect of unidirectional light, unidirectional sunlight on the coleoptile of Ebna, 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 the coleoptile. So that or he exposed the coleoptile of candy grass or Ebna. This is coleoptile. This is coleoptile of Ebna. He exposed the unidirectional light. It is small diagram, so it will be easy for understanding. So it took the plant and provided unidirectional light. This is Ebna. Coleoptile. He produced the sound. You know about the coleoptile? Coleoptile and coleorhiza. Coleoptile, that it is the stem. That is the epic. That is, you can say that that is the embryonal axis. Consists of two parts, coleorhiza and the coleoptile. Coleoptile, that is the stem part or the shoot apex that makes shoots that develops into the shoot, and while this coleorhiza develops into the root system and it develops the shoot system. So when it is the coleoptile of candy grass and unidirectional light was provided, then he observed that it bent towards the light. He observed that it bends towards the light. It makes a curvature. It becomes curved towards the light. This happens. He observed. Light, when unidirectional light is given, its coleoptile bends towards the light. And he observed that if it is decapitated, means its apex is removed. It is apex means tip of the apex is removed. It is decapitated. Or it is covered by, this is apex, and it is covered by iron foil. It is covered by iron foil. there is no bending, there is no bending of the coleoptile toward the sunlight. Once again, you see that he took the coleoptile of candy grass or Ebna sativa, and he observed that the tip, or this is coleoptile, bends towards the light. And another experiment, he when he removed the apex of the coleoptile, it is the coleoptile, that is the complete coleoptile is there. It is complete coleoptile. Understanding? And he removed the apex. He removed the apex of the coleoptile, or he covered apex with the file, trans uh, opaque file, that is opaque metal file. It is the covered. Then he observed that there is no effect on bending of, or you can say that in such situation when it is decapitated or it is covered with the file, it does not bend towards the light. He concluded that something, not given the name of the hormone, something is transferred, something is synthesized at the apex, and which is which diffuses toward the downside, and which is responsible for the bending of the coleoptile. He used the term something that is synthesized, that is formed at the apex, and which is responsible for bending of the coleoptile. So this was the experiment of the Charles Darwin and his son. Next one, in next experiment, that was the performed by the Boyson. Boyson and Jensen. What name? Boyson and Jensen. Other experiment, Jensen. Sorry. Other experiment, Boyson and Jensen. He same type of experiment he has done. Nearly same type of the experiment he has done, and he decapitate. He decapitate. First he decapitate means he cut the apex. He cut the apex, and again he kept. First he cut the apex, and then again he kept. And it happened that was no effect on the bending, means bending occurred. Bending occurs in this. So once he removed the apex, and then same piece he again kept. So he observed that the bending occurred. In next experiment, he next experiment, he first it cut, and after that first he cut. This is apex is there, and he cut the apex. He cut the apex, is removed the apex, and in between the apex he kept gelatin box. He kept gelatin box. He first cut, and after that cutting, he kept gelatin box, and then he kept the same pegs at the stump, and he observed that bending. He observed the bending. Once again, he observed the bending. By this, what is kept here, what is sensitized here, and it is translocated, transferred from the apex to the basal region, and that is why bending takes place. Means something sensitized at the apex, and that also transferred or the transmit, and that causes the bending. And in other experiment, he kept the mica. He kept mica. This is gelatin block. And next, he kept the mica. He kept again his experiment, and he kept this time mica. Then he again observed bending. Then he again observed bending. Then he again observed bending. So this way he observed the bending, and again he transversely split. He transversely split, and he kept the mica, and in that situation he did not observe the bending. So, and by this experiment, he concluded that this material or the substance which is sensitized at the apex transmitted towards the gelatin box or the mica, and that causes the bending of the coleoptile. She also found that they are also assumed or they concluded that some material is sensitized at the apex, and which migrated via the gelatin block or the mica, that causes the bending. Now another experiment who invented, who given the name as the Ogden, there is a very important experiment that was proposed or performed by the Bent. Bent 1928. That is Bent. Bent 1928. He also same experiment. Nearly, he took the same coleoptile. He took same coleoptile. He took coleoptile, and he decapitated the head of the coleoptile, or decapitated means removed the apex of the coleoptile. So he removed the coleoptile of Avena plant, and kept it on agar agar. This is one piece he kept, agar agar he removed and he kept apex he removed and kept this way. This is agar agar, and this is apex of coleoptile of Avena. This is apex. One he took another. He also apex he cut. Also apex he cut and apex is cut. So apex cut and these cut effect. These cut apex are kept on the agar agar. These are kept on the agar agar. Now he removed the apex of coleoptile and cut the agar agar into small sized blocks. So this is agar agar block. This is he cut the agar agar blocks. Agar agar blocks. So first he took the decapitated portion of the coleoptile and kept these portions on the agar agar. These kept on the agar agar, and after keeping the agar agar on a glass, he divided the agar agar into small pieces. This is called agar agar block. Now he took this is agar, this is the stump of this decapitated and kept the agar agar is centrally at one side. He kept the agar agar in this side. He kept the agar agar. He kept the agar agar, and he now after he kept this experiment and this into the dark. He transferred it into the dark, and after that observed he observed the bending. He observed the bending. In this way, he observed the this way he observed bending here. It is kept this side, and bending occurred in this. Even it was kept in the dark. It was kept in the dark. Then also bending occurred. So once again, you see, understand. First he took the coleoptile of Avena and he decapitated apex. He kept on the agar agar. That is why the material which was synthesized into the apex, it was transferred into the agar agar. What material was produced here? It was transferred into the agar agar, and now agar agar was kept on a glass and it was divided into pieces. This is as agar agar blocks. Now these blocks are kept centrally, not in the middle, but one side. It was kept at one side, and it was transferred into the dark. And then after transferring, it was observed that it bends. It bends means bending occurred. So he named the substance before what or material or the substance which was transferred from the apex and responsible for the bending. He gave the name these substance as the oxygen. So he used the term oxygen, used the term as the oxygens, and which responsible for so substance name given as the oxygen. So now we have to discuss in detail about the oxygens. Detail about the oxygens. This is decapitated stem. This is decapitated stem. Was kept in dark for 2 hours. So it happened after that he found that material, what is material's name as the oxygen, and which was transferred from this region from the block at the stem, and that causes the bending of the stem. So about oxygens. This was the about the little history, and after that about the detail about the oxygen hormone where these are the produced. So these oxygens first isolated from first isolated from human urine. It was first obtained, extracted from the human urine, and it is synthesized. It is synthesized at root apex and shoot apex. It is synthesized at the root apex and shoot apex, and from these apex, these reaches to their site of the axon. So this synthesized at the root apex and the shoot apex, from where they migrated to different part of the plant for their the axon. And IAA and IBA. IAA indolactic acid and IAB indobutyric acid. These are the naturally occurring plant hormones. Naturally occurs mean they are occurs in the plant. These are natural plant hormone, and you know that the some artificial plant hormones are also there. So that is the NAA and 2,4-D. NAA 2,4-D, 2,4-D or 2 2,4-D. These are the artificial Origins. Actually, plant harmony, this is the origins. We studying about the origins. So origins. These are the naturally origins. Naturally occurring origins are these IA and IAB. I indole butyric acid. IBA indole acetic acid, indole butyric acid. These are the naturally occurring plant hormones are naturally occurring origins, and these are the artificial origins are there. So we have to study there the function. What is there the function? So functions. One is root initiation. Origin functions. Number one is root initiation. Origin helps in the initiation of roots. It start the initiation in root. It is important in the tissue culture and also in the horticulture. In the horticulture, when in the horticulture, suppose this is the stems, piece of the stems, and these stems are dipped in the origin, and by dipping, when they dipped in the origin, so rooting takes place early in comparison when these are not dipped in the origin. So origins helps in the initiation of the rooting, so by which, that is why these are used in the tissue culture technology, tissue culture, and also used in the by the horticulture, in the horticulture. Next feature is there apical dominance. Apical dominance. Next feature is there. Apical dominance means this hormone promotes the growth of the apical buds and inhibits the growth of the lateral buds. It promotes the growth of apical buds and inhibits the growth of lateral buds. Suppose this is plant is there, and these are the leaves are there, and in this way it will grow, and no branching, it will produce no branching. So this is called the apical dominance. So in the where teas are the planted in tea plantation, in the tea plantation, you know that the head is the decapitated. The apex, to overcome, to remove apical dominance, it is decapitated, and it is decapitated or the apex is removed. Apex is removed, and that is why lateral branches arises. Suppose this is, if apical bud is removed, apex is removed, then that promote the growth of the lateral buds. So many branches arises when the apex is removed or apex is cut. So this is called apical dominance. Apical dominance means uh, it promotes the growth of only apical buds. It inhibits the lateral growth of the lateral buds. So you know about the gardeners. Gardeners also, with the help of the scissors, they removed the apex to make the bushes more dense. As also in the tea gardens, where teas are the planted, the it is also removed to reduce to remove the effect of the apical dominance. So more and more branches arise, they get more and more leaf, and they also producing more and more the tip. Now where is next, promotes cell division. Plantations cell division. Cell organs promote the cell division. It help in the increasing the cell division, promote the cell division, and that is why it is also used in the tissue culture, because the cell division increases. So by the cell division, that producing the chylus. If one cell is there in tissue culture, it will divide to produce 2 cells, 4 cells, and so many cells. This is a group of the cell, and this is called the chylus. This is chylus, and after that it may develops into so many plantlets. So this property, the auxin promotes the cell division. Now next we have to study, that is the prevents. It prevents leaf and bud fall. It prevents the leaf and bud fall. Immature. It prevent the immature. If leaves, buds and flowers, instead of buds we can write about the flowers. Leaf, flowers. When it are the immature, it prevents the falling of immature buds and the flower, and promotes the falling of older leaves. You know that the fruit, in case of the many gardeners, use the auxins to protect their flowers from the falling. You have seen the mango seasons coming, then they spray the auxins on the flowers to protect the flowers of the mango from the falling. So these are the few properties. Others are there, you are familiar to. In case of the initiate flowering, in case of the some plant, it initiates flowering. Initiates flowering. Initiates in pineapple. It is flowering, and very important function is there, eradication of weeds. Eradication of weeds. It helps in the eradication of the weeds by the farmers. Farmers use this. You are familiar to 2,4-D. 2,4-D. This is very important, very common weedicides, which is used to eradicate, to kill the weeds. Mainly the dicot weeds are removed. It does not affect on the mature monocot weeds. So once again function, it help in the root initiation. It also having the apical dominance, and also it promotes cell division, and it prevent of the immature falling of the leaf and flowers. It initiates flowering in pineapple, and it is used for the eradication of the weeds. So that's for today. Thank you.